Okay, y'all, base heads. I just got done with this, so this is what happened. Ben ended up sick when I went up there, but he did give me the straight stock that he bent yesterday. And the day we were supposed to straighten that up, tighten it on, and then weld those nuts on, weld those on right there, so when we can take this off and just slide it back on, okay, on both sides. But instead, I bolted them on. So he gave them to me because he wasn't feeling good, and I came down here and just bolted them on first. So nothing's welded on yet. It's bolted on first. And I do remember a few base heads saying bolted on. If you bolt it on, it may be better to bolt it on. A couple base heads, not this, but some other stuff that I was doing a few months back, and a base head came up on there and said, bolt it on, bro. Bolt it on, like when that bracket broke. There's like, bolt that bracket on, bolt it back together. Just bolt it together, and it would be stronger technically. Okay. Let me set this thing up. I've been on it all the way till now. I don't even know what time it is. Y'all guys will probably start watching this video tomorrow morning because you're probably going to sleep because you got to go to work, and I got to work too. All right? But I got quite a few breaks tomorrow. So, this thing is working. It's bolted. I had to drill the holes and stuff in it myself on those two sides to hold it on. That is not all thread there. That's the regular go-through bolts. And so, that bolt, my fault, yeah, that bolt as well needs to be welded from the other side permanently. So I got a remedy for that, because in this case, I would probably have to go and buy all thread, because it's still got the head on it. Okay, but it's long enough to do what it's supposed to do, because I got to bolt it from the back side. Okay, and there's no way to reverse that and put it in from the opposite side, because stuff is in the way, and that's a 5-inch bolt there, and it won't allow it on either side to slip up and go inside of that hole from the back, because there's stuff in the way to stopping that from happening, or that's the way I would have done it. Okay, so now there's he told me to do this, see how it worked, and when I come back up there, all he got to do is, while it's sitting in place like that, is weld them back bolts on, weld them from where they're at, okay? And he was going to do it to the back of that too. So I have a remedy for this here. That head can be cut off, okay? There's a extra length on the back of that we can loosen that and push it forward, okay? Push that forward, all right? And then he welds it. Then he welds it where it stands at. He welds it, once it's pushed in, it can be pushed almost all the way in, so we got some length back there. Now he can push it inward, and that comes forward, and we can cut that off right where it stands, that head, and then put a nut on there, and end all that, bound all thread, and then it's in place. But I do believe once those nuts right there are welded in place, that will be 75% of the problem to help when we put that back on. So now it'll be easy. You know what I had to do to get this belt around. I had to hold the whole thing and put it on there to get that belt inside of there. But once that's welded in there, you won't have to technically do that no more. You can just put that on, tighten it a little, get that on and tighten it, period, and then go back and finish tightening that. I had to practice that too to see how that would work. But as you see, it's not cocked. It's not cocked going that way now. Just a little incy-bincy, but what'll stop that? If I move it one tooth over, it'll straighten up. So I got it pushed all the way back on the pulley. If I move it one tooth over, it'll straighten right up. It's back real nice on this pulley. It's way back here. Remember, the belt was way up here, and this was cocked upward. It was pointing upward, like I said, like this. It was doing this. Whenever it got tightened, it would go up like that, and the belt would move that way. It's not doing that now. It's right in the middle. It's right in the middle of that crack, because there was two pulleys put together. It's right in the middle of that crack, right in the middle. Right there in the middle, landing on both pulleys, what it's supposed to be doing. So I could say it's about 97% good. I would leave it just like this. Like I said, I can move it a tooth over. I could. But then it's straight there too. It's straight going up and down there too. That's pretty straight. Like I said, it can be moved a tooth over and it'll be straighter. Come to this side. That's straight up and down. That is straight. That's not cocked. Nowhere, straight. I could take one of those washers off so this pulley can move back a little, but it's still landing on both pulleys. It's just a little bit more this way. So I can take one of the washers off and go that way and it'll be perfectly straight. So this is working. Just bolted. Okay, but I don't want to be taking it off, you know. Now there is a mistake on here. Let me show you. I'm going to show this to Ben. That's what I was pointing at. There's space in between that belt going both ways. Good space. Oof, there's a problem here. There's a lot of space here, and that is kind of rubbing on the side. Now I had it flipped over the other way, and it was doing the same thing on this side. It was rubbing. So I thought if I flipped it over, it may not rub. Yeah, that's a little off right there. The bolt is a little bit going this way. And that's rubbing, but when it's running, you can't hear nothing, so it might have a smidget of a bit of space there. A smidget of a bit of space. Because y'all seen it running. Or you can take something and etch that little piece of metal out. Edge it out a little bit so it's not touching. You can just take a little grinder or something and just etch that out a little bit. Because there's no way in the world I would want him to take and drill another hole to this side, to move over that side and drill another hole down there. I don't want it to be doing that. Or I could put those size pulleys over there. That's a 3.5 inch 8 groove pulley. I could put them down there and then it will have more space. It won't touch that because the pulley's smaller, of course. But that wasn't the plan, Stan. These big ones was the plan to have more wrapping surface. But it'll probably work with them down there. I can double them up, or I won't have to double them up. That is an 8 groove. Them are 8 rib. Those are 6 rib. And I purposely did it to make it wide so it'd have a nice big fat rib. I don't know why they didn't make 10 and 12 rib pulleys. Just make 10 and 12 rib pulleys. And then, here's an idea for you dumbasses. Or maybe I should keep it to myself. Coat pulleys with rubber. Put like a whole rubber band around pulleys from now on so it gets more grip. So it gets more grip on the doggone belt. Did y'all ever think about that? It'll grip the belts will never slip. Never mind. All this, and I know that it's straight because I got that much more length on that bolt right there that tensions down. It's a lot taller, which means the belt is tensioning quick. So now I got to put a shorter bolt in there so it can come down to here. It's way up here. It was way down here last time. So you know it's not pulling up the pulleys now. They're holding. So now I've got to put a shorter one in so this can come. I don't want this hitting the hood. That's why. So I got shorter ones. I could put a shorter one and it would come down because now I got a lot more tightening surface. And it's nice and tight. It's nice and tight. It's nice, just as tight as it was when this was going all the way down to there. So you know it's working. So now all I gotta do is get the things welded on. Okay, I'll get those welded on, and okay, there's nothing I can do. That can actually be bent a little open. That can be bent a little open, but then guess what happens when that's bent a little open? Now the hole ends up bigger, or it got to be welded shut, and then drilled. That can happen, like bent this way, and then, you know, weld that hole closed just to drill another one, but leave that one on there nice and tight so it can kind of hold it, sort of, kind of, shorter. Well, Ben will comment on this. You know what I mean? Things happen. I know things happen. Nobody's perfect, and we're not robots. I know all that. That's what I was trying to explain to him. If we were robots, man, you know, God would be controlling us, not us. Okay? Just so y'all know that. He didn't make us robots, so we make mistakes. We do. But that one's perfect. But it runs and nothing. Now, I don't know what it's going to do when the engine shifts, when I'm turning corners and revving, if that's going to move a little bit and scrape. Who knows? It may not. But I always can go down to that size pulley, which that ain't what I wanted to do, but you know. Yeah, I wanted it like this. But let's see what happens. It's your boy, the OG Soda Pop Kid. Check this out. Late, I don't even know what time. It's probably 11 o'clock in the evening for all I know. Because I be working on this stuff, man. I be working on it, so help me. But, comment, you know, and it's, you know, it's good now. Ain't nothing doing nothing weird. With his billet being bolted, but the idea is to weld stuff so it'll be easy on and easy off. So we're going to start with those. We're going to start with that and that being welded on right where it's at from the back, so the, you know, the nut can come off and it can slide forward. And then we'll work on cutting those the heads off of them and pushing it, sliding it forward so just the nut can go on, because there is room back there. And especially if I put these on, there's going to be more room to move. Yeah, it's going to be more thread if I go with them. But I might give it a shot, to see how those act on there, because all it's going to actually make that bolt be able to go down further then, because there'll be more belt. There'll be definitely more belt if I go down. Those are half a size bigger than them in diameter. These are half a size smaller than those in diameter, so it's going to make the belt seem bigger. So maybe now I can drop down a belt size as well and go back to a black belt. You know what I mean? So I'm going to have to figure that out. Peace, y'all. Comment.